Hello again, and welcome to DAX for Humans. My name is Greg Deckler, and in today's episode, we are going to be creating what is called a measure using DAX. So in the last episode, we created this total cost column, which is a calculated column using DAX. As you can see, we referenced our price column and our quantity column. We multiplied them together, and then that gave us a total cost, which we can see over here. You can see that our total cost is the multiplication of our price column and our quantity column. So in today's episode, we're going to be creating what's called a measure. Now to create a measure, you can go to the Modeling tab, and you can see here this icon called New Measure. So I can go ahead and click New Measure. And again, it's going to pop up that same formula bar. And I'm going to say average total cost is going to be the name of my measure, and then an equal sign. So just like that. And then all I'm going to do is I want to average my total cost column. Now, one of the first things you'll notice about measures is if I do the same thing to reference a column and put a bracket in, nothing pops up in IntelliSense or your type ahead. Well, the reason for that is that in measures, you cannot reference a column unless you use what's called an aggregation. And an aggregation is simply something like sum, average, count, max, min. Those are your aggregators. And there's a function for each of those in DAX. So if I start typing in average, you can see that the different average functions pop up. And I want the average, and now it gives me, hey, here's some things that you can average. And I want to average my table total cost. I close my paren. So any function that you use in Power BI, you're going to start with an open paren or a left paren, and then close that with a right paren. So all I'm going to do here in this calculation is I'm going to average my total cost column. So now once I hit enter on that, you can see that my measure appears over here in my fields. And what I can do to use that is I can create a card visual. We'll move that up here. And then I can just, with my card visual selected, you can see it's selected by the little sizing handles that I have available to me. Then I can just click my average, and you can see there's my average total cost. And if we were to add these up and then divide by 5, you would indeed get 12.57 as the average cost. Now if I wanted something else, like maybe I wanted the sum instead of the average, then I could hit enter on that, and that would give me the sum. Or if I wanted to do the count, so this obviously should return 5. Or if I wanted the min, I could do that. 7.98. If we go back over here, yes indeed, the minimum is 7.98. Or if I wanted the maximum, $15.96, which again, come down here, $15.96. So that's how easy it is to create measures in Power BI. Just remember, you need to use some kind of aggregation function if you are referencing a column. That's really one of the main differences between measures and columns. But in the next episode, I'll actually be going into more in depth around the differences between measures and columns. So I'll see you all next time, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And that's all.